Good? Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Rockland EAC meeting. Call to order and a roll call.
Okay, Peg Zugby.
Here.
Tim Riley.
Yes.
Raj Amar.
Here.
Howard Hellman.
Here. Action items.
We have no action items. We have no business items. We have no whole business. We do have a treasurer's report.
We do this every year.
And it's basically the same. You know, we paid the auditor, the independent auditor, our bookkeepers, and Harris Beach for the compliance. So this is all compliance related stuff.
Okay. Any questions, comments? Anyone like to make a motion to accept the treasurer's report? Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Approved.
Okay. Okay, that's it. Shall I read the minutes?
Slowly.
I was gonna do it slowly. Call to order, 10:30 a.m. All members present. There was no action items, no new business, no old business. The board reviewed the treasurer's report and accepted it. Motion by Peg Zugby, seconded by Roger Mar to accept the treasurer's report. And that's it. I guess we need a motion to adjourn.
Raj, second. Tim, all in
Just
favor?
adjourn. Yeah, motion to adjourn. Okay.
Ready for the IDA meeting?
That was a new record. That was a 3-minute meeting. I think that's a new low. You know, if that's the appropriate.
IDA meeting.
Okay.
Call that to order. Roll call.
Okay. Peg Zugby.
Here.
Tim Riley.
Yep.
Raj Amar.
Here.
Howard Hellman.
Here.
Okay. The first thing on the agenda is I'd like us to go into executive session to discuss a legal matter.
Okay, somebody like to make that motion? Peggy moves. Raj seconds. We're in executive session.
Okay, the next item on the agenda, if you can open up and invite Yali Elkin.
Okay, I gotta recuse myself because it's.
Yeah, this involves one of Raj's properties, so he is going to recuse himself by leaving the room on it. And I'll explain why in a minute.
We talk about him when he's.
Or when he's here.
You can't watch it on YouTube.
They know they're supposed to come in?
Yes.
I don't think they know.
Is he shy? No.
Yeah.
Raj is.
Yeah, I think Raj is talking. He's gathering his box.
I'll introduce the project and give kind of an overview, then I'll introduce Yali. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi.
How are you?
This is, Yali, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of introduce it and end it by introducing you, but just for everyone, Yali Elkin is the CFO of Chartwell Hemlock Realty LLC. This matter started actually with a phone call from George Holman to me. What it involves, the short of it is Chartwell has been a long time presence up in Congers, pharmaceutical manufacturer. They've been looking to expand unsuccessfully over the course of years. I know I've been working with them on different projects that started, didn't happen, whatever. I do know that they've been looking over in Jersey and elsewhere simply because they're desperate to expand. The call I got from George Holman is that Chartwell and Triangle Squared Realty, which is the former ARC building, why Raj recused himself on this, they're looking to acquire that building. It's currently being used for a distribution facility. Chartwell is going to use it as a manufacturing facility. What they've come to us as part of the acquisition would be to ask that the only benefit they're asking for is that the existing pilot on that building be transferred from Triangle Squared to Chartwell. The town, I have it here, I want to hand it out just so you know what we got it. Again, this is a copy of the town resolution, but essentially what it says is, the town approves this. Town wants the manufacturer there, they want the jobs there. From a cost benefit analysis, it is a very attractive project to have. Chartwell does have a lot of employees at its existing site that are career jobs for people. So the town has passed a resolution saying that subject to the IDA, approving it and subject to the school district. I had a preliminary discussion with the school district. They've said, that it's already a pilot. No one's asking to amend anything. They understand that rationale as well. So with that said, I've asked Yali Elkin to come in today. Yali, you may recognize some of the folks here from this room from the past, to just give a little overview of, what they're planning to do there, answer any questions.
Okay, first of all, thank you, Steve. And as Steve noted, he and I have been working together closely on several previous projects. And as I said, Chartwell has been a presence here for I want to say we're in our 14th or 15th year here. We've got over 100 employees at our facility on Brenner Drive. We've acquired 150 wells right across the street. We are in a competitive industry that has never been more competitive than it is today. We've figured out a niche or two where we can compete effectively, and thank God business is growing. This is a growth industry, but it is a competitive industry, as Steve noted. Pharmaceuticals is a hot industry, and a lot of places would love to have a soup to nuts pharmaceuticals operation there. We do our manufacturing, we do storage, we have our own labs on site. There's obviously all that needs to support a fair amount of office space as well. So we have a lot of different job types, a lot of different managerial levels. This could expand our current workforce by over 40%. This is something that we're very much looking forward to. At this point, if this acquisition is consummated, I think by my calculations, that takes us to, puts us on our way to 230,000 square feet, I think, just in Converse. So it's an area that we know, it's an area that we obviously that we like. As I said, we've been here for a while and we're growing. But any sort of growth plans really have to make sense. And like we said, this is a competitive industry that has never been more competitive than it is today. So it's an area that we know, it's an area that we like, and we would really like to continue to expand here.
Okay, thank you. Any questions from the board?
Do we need a new application for this?
We have an application.
Okay, I didn't see it,
Yeah.
okay.
And again, I don't want to oversimplify it, but essentially the application talks the usual stuff, and where they checked off, incentives requested, they just checked off pilot, and it's not a it's not going to be renegotiated.
Right.
It would just be transferred as is,
It's an assignment, just being assigned to.
reassigned, yeah.
It's subject to the approval.
Of the IDA, we have to induce it and authorize it in the school district.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Good luck.
Okay.
Hold on.
Wait, hold on.
Don't get excited, come on, we need to vote on
Not
that.
so
I was
fast.
about to call the owner now.
Tim is new here.
The newbies too. All right, Peg Zuckerby,
Yes.
Tim Riley,
Yes.
Howard Hellman.
Yes.
Now you can say.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now it's official.
So, yeah, what will happen is, we'll have a public hearing, again, we'll back into, the next, we have to have an authorizing, it's procedural more than anything with attorneys. I'll reach out to the school district just to firm up details with them as well.
Any idea of the timing?
Pretty quick, I would anticipate barring any unforeseen, like at our next meeting, we'll have a public hearing probably within the next week or week and a half.
Week after that.
Right, you do not have to attend the public hearing, it'll actually physically be held here in our offices.
Okay.
You're not required or even expected to attend, it's kind of a one-way communication, anybody, member of the public wants to.
Just voicing concerns.
Yeah, I has a concern, we say thank you, it's not a matter of debating the project. And the school board, I'll reach out to them and just get an idea of their timing. And then I'll defer to attorneys about this. Presuming everything goes as planned, we back into our closing on the pilot, tie it into your real estate closing. Would that be, or does it really not have to be at that point?
Well, yeah, you have to coordinate because.
Yes.
They can go.
We don't really have any barriers to closing, so we're ready to move forward, as you and I discussed, so.
Yep.
Whenever, as soon as it works for everybody else, we're ready.
So you're saying as soon as everything can fall into place, presuming it all falls into place, we can.
Who's your accountant? Is it?
It's in there, it's Steve Semyon.
All right.
It's in the application.
Yeah. I have it.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming over.
Okay, thanks, everybody, have a great day.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Sterling.
Okay. All right. What I suggest is a couple of things. I guess we can have.
Well, Asahi is here.
Yeah, I was gonna. That's what Yeah, what I was gonna.
Welcome back.
If you don't mind, we have two gentlemen from Asahi here. They're the only other guests we have here today. Do you mind if we bump them up?
Yep.
Okay. You want to tell them?
Yeah.
No, they're from Asahi.
Morning, everyone.
Good morning. Morning. Thanks for making the time to join us today.
If you don't mind, I'll kind of introduce things and then hand it off to you guys for any questions. As you all know, Asahi Depository is in the midst of building out a facility down in Blauville. As you know, it involves precious metals. They're well involved in the project at this point. However, as with other projects, they run into an issue where costs due to global and a variety, I'll leave them to explain the details, significant cost increases, and they've asked us, they've represented to us that, to complete the project as designed, they're looking for some additional sales tax exemption. we've experienced this with other projects, so that in itself isn't unique. With that said, gentlemen, if I could ask you to introduce yourselves and any questions of the board.
Sure, I'm Chris Warner, I'm Director of Finance for Asahi.
I'm the General Manager, Joe Nibbling of the branch here. So,
Anybody, or do you want to maybe
So
tell?
why do you need the money?
There we go.
What's going on?
Yeah, so we intended to be finished construction in November, and now we're in May, we still have work to do. The budget was underestimated with the supply chain issues, cost of labor, trying to accelerate everything. So, our costs are higher.
What's the delta?
They're asking for another, their costs are going up another $3 million, so they're asking for another, it's a net $251,000, $251,250 in actual sales tax exempted. Short, they're asking that their costs have gone up by another $3 million unanticipated.
Questions, comments?
Is the work completed or you still?
That's still going on.
Okay.
Was there any changes made to the plans, or it's just the same plan?
Some scope change to make more storage in the building.
yeah, we had, for example, HVAC, we had problems, so we needed to buy other equipment and things like that. Yeah, so we had to make some changes at that point. You mentioned that we're doing precious metals, so a big part of our investments are security related, right? So we have cameras and alarms and those kind of things, and that price increased.
Just gotta melt a little bit more gold, that's all. How much is the?
Do you make the diabetic machines?
Another
Or do I have the wrong
250,000.
company?
No, that's wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not medical.
Okay, any other questions? They want to move the motion? Second?
I'll second.
Okay, Peg Zugby,
Yes.
Tim Riley.
Yes.
Raj Amar.
Yes.
Howard Hellman.
Yes.
You've been induced, gentlemen. So,
Congratulations.
all right.
Great.
That was easy.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you very much.
All right, okay. I'll be in touch as far as
Okay.
next steps.
Yes, okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Nice meeting you.
Thanks for coming.
Nice meeting you.
Raj, motion, Tim seconded. Okay. Hey, we've got you for 2 more minutes, but just so you know,
That's what I was just.
you know,
You were watching for me?
all right. The next item on the agenda is Sterling Development Group, the Nanuet project, and I will.
Are they here?
No, and I think based on what we said, probably one of the board members would have to ask for it to be.
Table. You want to
Or-
do that?
It doesn't matter,
Sure.
doesn't matter. I'd rather have a healthy conversation the right way.
Right, okay, so Sterling tabled.
You need a formal motion on that?
No, I don't think, do we? No. Tabled for further discussion, okay. Okay, thank you. Next items on the agenda is amended inducement resolution, Northern Riverview. I'm gonna put Rudy on the spot to explain this one, what's going on with this.
It's a big moment. Don't blow it.
Spotlight.
Want to look at the camera?
In 1999, I believe, there was a project for Northern Riverview. The property was deeded to the IDA at that time. And subsequent to that, the property was subdivided. And I believe it was only a pilot at the time. Now there is a tax certiorari proceeding where they're grieving the taxes, and in conjunction with that, they want to enter into a new pilot, which will make the tax certiorari matter easier to settle. So what we are suggesting is to split up the project. There was only one application for the two properties, so we're splitting it into two separate applications, and we're going to, it's still just a pilot, and we're going to terminate all the existing projects and start fresh with a new pilot now. The tax matter is before the Supreme Court. The next court date is next week, and the court is pushing for a resolution of the tax case. And presently, the pilot has been agreed to by the Village of Haverstraw, the Town of Haverstraw, and the school district. And they are actively working to sign the pilot agreement. And this is just a step to facilitate getting that effective once they do sign it.
So Rudy, though they split the property, is it still common ownership?
No, it is owned by two separate entities. One is called Assisting Living at Northern Riverview, and the other one is called Northern Riverview Healthcare Center.
But still the common ownership?
I think
They're separate corporations,
Well,
but there might be the same.
I think there is a point, they're separate entities, but ultimately owned by,
The same
Yeah. because the same guy responds to the compliance.
So Rudy, if we
They
approve
work
this,
from the same office.
the Supreme Court case goes away?
The tax certiorari would be settled at the same time that they were able to enter into the pilot.
The new pilots. And all municipalities, everybody is in agreement with this?
You have one from the school district?
I get calls from the attorneys for the village and the town frequently asking for this to be done. Apparently the mayor of Haverstraw is very eager to get this done. And the
I
town
would
of
check on
Haverstraw
the school
also.
district, because I don't.
There is, the reason for the tax certiorari matter
Right on that.
is there's a large outstanding tax that hasn't been paid. And entering into the pilot and settling the case would clear up the back taxes as well. And that's why the municipalities are so eager to get it done. And it was already induced and authorized, well, it was already induced in October of 2021, I believe. So technically,
As one
it's
entity.
expired. It was one application
For
that
both
dealt
entities.
with both entities, yes. So the inducement technically had expired because it was done more than a year ago. So we're also starting it again.
Comments? You want a motion? You can.
I can't, but like
Yeah.
I said, I would check, because I don't think the school district moved on that.
So,
So does it have to have before we could approve it?
well, I mean,
Just authorize the
pilot will
pilot.
have to still go
And then
forward,
it's up
but if
to
you want to
you.
recuse yourself, we
Oh,
would.
I have that recusal.
Okay, so we just need somebody to make the motion.
So this is their pathway to resolve their issues.
Yes.
I'll move
Second, okay. Tim,
it. Yes.
Raj,
Yes.
Howard.
Yes.
And it's just a pilot.
Yes.
Correct.
I recuse myself.
Peggy recuses.
I don't recuse
This is what you have to say.
Troublemaker.
myself.
Okay,
Happily recusing myself.
We need anything else for Peggy?
well, we have, I mean, assisted living in Northern Riverview is the other one. It's, would you say, Rudy, just for expediency's sake, it's basically the same situation? This is the other entity with the same circumstance?
Yeah, I'm sorry, when I was explaining it, I was covering both of them.
Okay, so this is the same, this is part two. Okay,
Yes.
So we need a separate.
so I'll make the motion.
Tim,
And I'll second.
Raj. Okay, Howard.
Yes.
Okay. 3-0. Peg, you're recusing again, right? Okay. Okay, moving things right along. We have an authorizing resolution for .72. As you recall, this is that data center that we induced last month. We had a public hearing. There was no public comment. Heidi conducted the public hearing. I think that was in town hall.
It was in the lobby of town hall.
Right.
I couldn't film in the courtroom.
Yeah, they went the construction going on there. So, any questions about that?
Okay, Raj, make the motion. Tim, second. Call the roll.
So we're throwing process out the window completely.
Sure I ain't going up my. I know.
You know where she's going, you know where she's going, don't you?
Like, oh.
No, a re-election party.
All right, Peg Zuckerby. Yes. Roger Marr.
Yes.
Howard Hellman.
Yes.
Okay, again, continuing to move right along. This is actually pretty straightforward. The ranch Hudson Valley, that's that spa, high-end spa
Oh,
going in.
yeah,
Oh,
Over
over in Torrey
Okay.
Valley or something.
that's who that is?
Yeah.
Okay.
What they're doing, what we gave them, if you recall, last year, we gave them a pre-closing sales tax because they couldn't close because of a variety of circumstances with the nuns and everything. And we pegged May by the time they'd be ready to close. The simplest thing is the bank, and they don't have their act together yet. So they're asking for us to give them a little more extension on the existing. They're not asking for more sales tax. It was set to expire. They just need a few more months. Is that, Rudy, is that an accurate way of putting it? That we anticipate we're giving them until the end of August, is it?
August 15th.
Yeah, August 15th. That'll give them a little more time to get all the pieces in place so they can formally close and acquire the property from the nuns or whatever entity. That's all this is, very straightforward.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Okay.
And at some point, I would like to walk the property.
Yes, well, to that point,
See this?
well, if you went to the spa,
Or after.
they have like morning hikes.
Oh,
If you
okay.
could literally go there, then they have like a granola.
Can I smoke while I'm hiking?
You can take the golf cart.
With a beer hat, with a beer hat on.
Well, you don't know what the building is, right?
Yeah.
That's why I want to walk there.
So, well, let's finish the vote yet. Peg?
Don't,
Yeah.
it was,
Tim? Yes.
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 Say
Raj?
yes.
Yes.
Okay,
It
Howard?
was built by Teddy Roosevelt for his son who married J.P. Morgan's daughter. This was one of their summer houses, so I want to see what I've lived there forever, drove by it a million times, and it's
I
up
read
in the
about it,
woods.
it was in the, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So-
Remember that one?
Not as nice as your house, Raj.
I reached
He's not
out,
with that.
I reached out to the general contractor, and said, we'd like to do that. We'd like to come see it. And he thrown it, this was about a week or two ago. We had conflicts. He's waiting for me to hear back from him. If anybody would like to go on that, I will coordinate everybody's availability, whoever would like to go. They'd love to show it to us.
Yeah.
So if everybody's good with that, I'll make that happen. Okay. All right, next on the agenda, Rockland Gardens Affordable Housing Project. I'll defer to Dan if you want to just give everybody what they're.
Rick, almost along the lines of what this resolution asks is to extend the agency's commitment for the Rockland Gardens Housing Project. Original inducement resolution, like all inducement resolutions, has a specific time to expire. Because we're going through the state to get some additional state volume cap, it's taking a little bit longer. So what this does, the agency's commitment would have expired on March of this year. And what this does is just an amending to the inducement resolution, just recommitting it. I just put a year from today. We don't anticipate it's going to go that long. In fact, I think Friday, the state regional EDC is going to be deciding on whether or not to give additional volume cap to this affordable housing project. So I just put in, you're extending your commitment to May 17, 2024 to play it safe. It's just an extension of the inducement that was adopted last year.
I'll move it.
Okay.
Second.
Okay. Peg Segeby,
Yes.
Jim Riley,
Yes.
Roger Marr,
Yes.
Howard Hammond.
Yes.
Okay,
Good job. I think we can-
got all our resolutions done. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, I gotta look at
I know you gotta run. Okay, Peg, thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations again.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Pretty much your shows.
The world. All
I'll
right.
see, sorry.
Bye-bye.
See you, thank you.
All right.
Lucky Grill.
Yeah, so if you look at your O'Keefe Grill monthly report, you can see Manhattan Beer Distributors, they are doing along, they couldn't be more cooperative, would you say? Because
Yes,
Heidi
very responsive.
is very responsive, always pay whatever, right away on any, on the invoices. As you know, we get a bill from O'Keefe Grill, we in turn invoice them, they're on top of it, they're good. As cooperative as can be. It's like our labor policy is hitting on all cylinders with them. I'm going to be careful how I characterize this with Admiral's Cove, though I don't think we've had the same situation. Low-key Grill.
Can we just back up?
Yes.
So if we look at Manhattan Beer, of the 658 workers, 542 were compliant and 116 were not compliant, with an average score of 82%. What is it when we start raising a flag?
80%. And that's because that 116 are some of those companies that we gave exemptions to, because remember, they were in between, like, and we gave them, they were specially, like specialty door, things like this.
Right. Even with the waivers that
Right.
they're over.
And they have been, like, I talked to Kevin Loki regularly. He says they are a pleasure to work with. They couldn't be more accommodating. They are anxiously look to follow all the rules, all the postings. When he goes to inspect, he gets the red carpet treatment. They take him around. It's working like we hoped it would. With that said, Admiral's Cove, it's a bit of a different circumstance.
I'm sure.
Again, we realized that we adopted, they're getting benefits in midstream. They'd started the project, but they understood when we proved them that they had to make everything compliant, and they heartily agreed. As you recall, it's in the minutes, it's in their application. They signed the labor policy. Kevin has been frustrated, is a mild way of putting it, of the lack of responsiveness on very basic documents. And again, I'm not a labor person. Howard, you would know, Tim, you would know more than me the particulars, but very basic insurance and other things that workers normally need. They're just not only is it not getting it, they're not even getting responses. So,
Tim's going on, I told you so.
yeah. So, and the irony being is that the labor policy stemmed from their request to be, exempt from prevailing wage a number of years ago. So it's ironic, but I don't want to editorialize the whole issue. When I asked the board today, I wanted to update everybody on this. I'm not, I could go on at length, the conversations I've had with Kevin and his frustrations of just running into rock walls and lack of responsiveness. I also don't think we have not been paid on
Been
outstanding,
invoiced for April and May, and I've gotten no response.
nothing, not even a response.
So our question is, how do we rectify this?
So that's it. With the board,
Very easy.
well, the board, I'd like to ask council, like to have council.
I would do that probably in exec session, that's.
Discuss our labor policy. You want to go to executive session?
Yeah, or seek advice of council in terms of next steps, I wouldn't do that well.
Okay, yes, that's a good point. Okay, can I make a motion to go into, someone make a motion to go into executive session?
I can make a motion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Okay, the next item is no old business, and then I guess we'll wait for Tim. There he is.
There he is.
Then I'm going to ask that we go back into executive session to discuss personnel or board discussion.
Raj, second, Tim.
Okay. nothing, just basically,
Want to start us up again?
I have my backup. Sure.
just typical, our typical bills. Nothing there really with,
Annual bill, annual
Yeah.
monthly bills. Some deposits from closings, and that's it.
And I just wanted to bring up again, just so I can sleep at night. Is everybody comfortable with leaving the balances at Orange Bank and Trust after having the representative come here and explain how their CDs are distributed so that
What was the last rate that he gave us?
it was a little below, I think, they were a little below like M&T and TD and Chase. However, we're running into, and again, I'll go back to the very reason, we used to have all our money with TD. The reason we had to take it out was because TD wouldn't conform to the state mandated policies that we had, our investment policies that we had to adopt. We went to Orange County Bank because they were the only bank, a smaller bank, has a little more flexibility that they could accommodate for our policies, which allows us control over where our money is being invested. And for reporting purposes, TD, Chase, and M&T are all in the same boat. There's nothing wrong with those banks. They just aren't going to bend their rules for the little Rockland IDA. So we're kind of stuck, you
That's a
know.
lot of money sitting in the bank.
But again, go ahead.
The other thing is Orange County Trust has been very good to you in the sense that flexible downstairs with the checking account, so.
They do a few things that I don't know. Actually, I know we're being on YouTube, so I don't want to go to, not that I think we have a big viewership.
they use it.
Yeah, Orange Bank is very hands-on, customer-friendly almost on an as-needed basis. Not only notifying us proactively, oh, your CD is running out, you know, do you want to have this, blah, blah, blah. I don't know if you're going to get that level of customer service at a larger bank. I don't think it's a knock on any one bank. I just don't think, you know, these folks have been, and it's not just because they're nice, it's because they meet our customer service needs.
So I'm fine with it the way it is.
So financials, you guys want to
Make a motion?
accept?
I'll make the motion.
Tim?
Favor, aye.
Okay, and that's it, we're done.
Minutes?
Okay. Okay. ID meeting open, 4 members present, opened at 10:04. No, I'm sorry, 10:34. Motion by Peg, seconded by Raj, go into executive session to discuss legal matters. Came out of executive session at 10:55, back into general session. The first matter, inducement resolution involving Chartwell Hammock Realty. Board member Raj Amar announced that he had a conflict of interest and left the room. Executive director introduced the Chartwell project, which involves their acquisition of the building on 25 Hemlock Drive, which is owned by Triangle Squared. They were simply asking for an assumption of the existing pilot to acquire the building and develop it into a manufacturing facility. The CFO, Yali Alkin, gave an overview of their hopes of finding a building, their searches elsewhere, including outside New York State, their growth, the other factors that went into this building, and the necessity for the project, the pilot, to be part of the acquisition. With no further discussion, a motion by Tim Riley, seconded by Peg Zugaby. All in favor, motion passed 3-0 with 1 recusal, or I guess is recusal the right way to explain, Raj? Okay. Board, we changed our order and invited Asahi Depository to come in and discuss the request for additional sales tax. Provided an overview involving that increased costs on a variety of levels, availability of products, global delivery, all these other factors have caused their budget to go up significantly, and they were asking for $3 million additional in sales tax gross purchasing, which would result in a little over $200,000 in actual sales tax. Board asked questions about the status of the project. With no further questions, a motion by Raj Amar, seconded by Tim Riley. All in favor, motion passed. Matter of Sterling Development Group was tabled by the board, subject to further discussion on board practices. Next matter, Northern Riverview, Council Rudy, Phil Lennon, discussed the need for the amended inducement resolution. That and the following resolution involving assisted living under the same circumstances. Board asked questions as far as the status of the project. Following discussion, a motion by Tim Riley, seconded by Rajamar, to approve the Northern Riverview project, passed 3-0 with Peg. The board member Peg's going to be recusing due to a conflict. Board considered assisted living, noting that it was essentially the same circumstances as the prior inducement. Motion by Tim Riley, seconded by Rajamar. Motion passed 3-0 with Peg Zugby recusing due to a conflict of interest. Board considered an authorizing resolution involving .72 project. This is a data center project in the town of Orangetown, involving their request for sales tax exemption. Public hearing was held. There was no public comment. With no other discussion, motion by Rajamar, seconded by Tim Riley. Motion passed 4-0. Authorizing resolution regarding the Ranch Hudson Valley, requesting an extension of their sales tax exemption, or their pre-closing sales tax exemption till August 15th due to delays in the closing with the bank and other various factors that had delayed the closing from the anticipated May 2023. With no further questions, a motion was made by Peg Zugby, seconded by Tim Riley. Motion passed 4-0. Authorizing resolution for Rockland Gardens extension. Council Dan Birmingham provided an overview explaining that this extension allows them more time to get the bond and get the additional volume cap in place. It's spinning. And that it was, they anticipated that the extension, that it should come in place sooner than the year extension. Motion by Tim Riley, seconded by Peg Zugby. All in favor, 4-0. Okay. All right, under new business, Executive Director brought up low-key Brill labor reports, noting that Manhattan Beer was on target and cooperating. Regarding Admiral's Cove, he noted that Low-Key Brill, Kevin Low-Key of Low-Key Brill, had reported that he was not receiving information despite numerous efforts to secure it from the company, GDC, and their subcontractors and general contractors, and had approached us to ask, that they were not being cooperative. Board went into executive session at 11:24 to discuss any legal steps. Came out of executive session at, I guess I'll say 11:35. Okay, and back to general session. Board went back into executive session to discuss personnel matters. Motion by Rajamar, seconded by Tim Riley. Came back out of executive session at 11:35. And then the board reviewed the treasurer's report and noted, as per the chairman, that, just a consensus of the board that, the IDA's funds will stay with Orange Bank as previously discussed. And with that said, the board approved that and also approved the financials. That's it.
Okay. Could you just repeat from?
I couldn't if I had to.
Right. Motion to adjourn?
So, okay, now, a couple of things. No one's leaving without a wrap.
Okay.
And a salad.
No. I'll be